how much the Facebook post or the Instagram post leads to the actual sale, right?
I think a lot. I think you're kidding yourself.
You think
if
a
it
lot.
does.
Welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm Randy Twyford, and welcome to episode 33 of Cue the Mic. Glad you guys could all tune in.
Here we are, another week gone, Randy.
Another week and one more, just not that many more weeks left in the year if you think about it. So everybody gets thinking about what they need to get done before the end of the year. You know, do you need to buy something? Do you need to sell something? It's my accountant. I asked him one day, I said, do I need to buy something before the end of the year? Do we need to sit down and look at something? His comment was, do you need to, if you need to give me some money, that's fine. He said, it's just one of those deals you need to look at. Do you need to really get rid of money or not?
Well, yeah. I mean, we had the same accountant conversation last week, and mine flat out told me, he says, everything you buy now is going to be at a 40% discount.
Right.
So
exactly.
if you need it, buy it. Don't spend foolishly, but if you need it, buy it, because
and that's
you're going to
exactly
save 40% on your taxes. But the stupid thing about that, the stupid thing about that is every year we find ourselves paying every single bill that we possibly can that's due at the end of January. We get her paid so we can get all that expense into December, right?
Right.
And then in January we flourish because we got sales. Sales goes down, but we don't have any expense. So we always have a great January, and then we get to December and we do the same damn thing. It's just a cyclical cycle. But my accountant said you could have worse problems, Darren. We could be having this conversation. You're trying to figure out how to pay taxes, not being able to pay taxes, right?
Well, and the other thing of it is the whole deal, it's kind of like cash rent on farmland. When you get it, when you don't, do you get it this year or into next year? And it's kind of like, if you get it into this year, you always want to make sure you get it into the same year, the next year. No matter what you do, you put those bills off into pay them this year. It's going to be the same as the next year. You're going to be putting the bills into into December of the next year, so it really makes no difference,
You're right. It doesn't make any difference. It's just a game you play. We all hate paying taxes just because we watch the way our government just wastes it away.
I agree.
But, well, it's part of the game. We're just lucky that we owe taxes, right?
Exactly.
Because that means we made some money this year.
That's exactly right.
So what went on in your week? Haven't talked to you all week long, I don't think.
Well, it's been kind of a different kind of a week. We started out the week, we had some caterings this week, and we haven't had the food truck out. Again, the guys have been tied up with football. Well, not football, but getting ready for finals and stuff. So they've been out doing some prep work. So we've had some of that going on, but then we were kind of gearing up for this coming week, and we really didn't have anything going on. And then all of a sudden, everybody started getting caterings done. And trust me, I'm not complaining. I thank God for it. And, it's like one day this week, we didn't really have much going on. And now we've got 2 days that we have 2 caterings on 2 days, which is, pretty nice deal to have. And so it's just the flexibility, it has to be, I don't turn down caterings. I just don't. I mean, when somebody calls up and they'll say, can you do I was going down the road the other day, great customer of ours, one of our old, great customers of ours called me up and says, hey, can you do a catering next week on Tuesday? And I'm like, let me check my calendar real quick. And I thought to myself, why am I even checking the calendar? Because it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference what we've got going on. I will figure out a way to do it, And I shouldn't say it's not, because if it's a great customer, if this was a customer that we had never done anything for before, and they called me and said, "Hey, is there any way you could do this?" We would figure out how to do it, because you got to be flexible, because it gets that business. Now, this past week, we did do a big event up at SIU School of Medicine. And that was took some logistics to get it done. But since then, we've picked up a catering since then. So it's the old deal. One catering feeds off another, especially in those big organizations like the hospitals and stuff. That group, they're like, they said, where'd you get that food at? Well, we got it from Twyford's. So then they're like, well, maybe we ought to call them. So the Christmas party thing, we're not doing the evening Christmas parties. We're doing the noontime Christmas parties. And now the week before Christmas, we've only got a couple going on. So I'm anxious to see what we get going on, if we'll get some more coming in before that week. And again, if the weather's nice and finals are over, finals for the guys are this coming week, finals are over. And if the weather would happen to be nice, we might drag the old truck out for a couple of days and do a little food trucking. So
little food trucking. Yeah. Back to flexibility. Sales takes care of a lot of problems.
You bet it does.
I had dinner the other night with Todd Grantham, who's one of the owners of Shigs and Pit Barbecue in Fort Wayne. And we finally had a chance to meet up, and we had dinner together, and we were talking about the business, and he said they were just a little flat for the year, but still decent year moving along. And I'm like, flat? We're going crazy, and it just, I don't know, it comes back to that flexibility and figuring out. We kind of brainstormed a few ideas back and forth about our businesses, like we always do, like you and I do, like a lot of us do in the restaurant business. There are no secrets. If you got something that works, the faster you can share it with somebody else, the more friends you're going to have in the barbecue business, and the more people are going to be successful.
And the better you can fine tune it, because no matter what you do, somebody else can go, have you thought about maybe doing this to it? So everybody can fine tune it, get that other thing. So what have you been up to this week?
Well, so this has been a week of working on the system, not in the system.
What?
Right?
That's not supposed to happen.
Well, so I try and do that. I try and do that about 1 month or 1 week out of every month.
Okay.
Of course, we call that the trip to Florida, and people think, oh, you sit by the pool all day in Florida.
Sure.
My toe has not touched the water.
Okay.
I have probably worked harder, Randy, this week. I've spent more time at this computer this week than I have the previous month. I mean, it's
no question in my mind.
Yeah, so we've been so I've been sitting here. Sherry's been running around doing stuff and whatever, and she's kind of relaxing and whatever. But I've been balls to the wall because I listened, back, kind of listened again to a little bit of our podcast, and we started talking about value. And my mind, as I had this meeting last week with my staff, and I mean, that meeting lasted, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 hours. I mean, it was a long staff meeting, and I never have staff meetings. I hate them. Right. I just can't stand them. I like doing one-on-one, hey, 15-minute, 10-minute, let's get it out of the way. But I am not one to schedule a meeting. And before I came to Florida, I did this big staff meeting, and we talked about that a little bit last time. But that carryover, I just had on my mind this whole value proposition to the customer. So as a takeaway from that meeting, I started thinking about Texas Roadhouse, right? And that's one of the things that got brought up in our meeting was the Texas Roadhouse kind of value meal. And I'm not sure what they call it, but they have a value meal where it's kind of like a dinner for four, right? And it's somewhat went viral on TikTok and things like that, where, they'll give you for like $40 or $50. I don't even know the price point. And it's not available at all times. They kind of, I think they adjust it as they need to, but you get like 4 pork chops or 4 chicken breast, and then you can get a garden salad and then a couple side dishes and some of them hot rolls with whatever, and you just pick it up, and it's so much, and it feeds kind of a family of 4.
Okay, so that was my question. Is this isn't an eat in the restaurant meal? This is a pickup meal.
Right. This is a pickup meal. This is a carry out only meal.
Okay. Carry out only.
So, yep, carry out only meal. So, and we've had a lot of conversations because we've never really we've had what they call the whole pit. So the whole pit is like a 1/3 pound of every meat, a rack of ribs, some French fries, 3 pints of sides, and it's like an $80 meal. And that thing we say feeds 6 to 8. Well, shit, you can fit 10 people down and feed that thing.
Sure.
I mean, it's just, but not everybody's going to get burn ends, right? Not everybody's going to get whatever. So anyway, I started thinking about this value meal, and I was I had my costing and my market man, my inventory management system out, and I was trying to figure out how to make this work with barbecue, because barbecue's just so damn expensive. I mean, if you think about, for us, and we're on the cheap side, a pound of pork's $14.99. Well, if I'm trying to hit a price point of $39.99 as my target, and $14.99 of that's going to be in pork, it's going to be kind of hard to get side dishes and salad and everything in there. So, the more I thought about it and just brainstorming with myself, I'm like, you know what? We serve comfort food every single day. I was trying to figure out, how do I do chicken breast? Because I really don't have a char griller. And how am I going to do pork chops? I could smoke them, but, but I got to smoke them before I get to, I didn't want to have a bunch left over. Shit, we do comfort food every day. We do on Wednesdays, we do a hot roast beef, we did 101 hot roast beef meals in the restaurant on Wednesday.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why. If it was
now, were very many of those carryouts, or were they mainly just in-house?
I really can't break that down.
Okay.
I don't really have a way to I don't think I do. I may have to look at that, but we did 101 meals. Normally we do 80 of them. We average about anywhere from 50 or 60 for the least popular items to over 100 for the most popular items. Well, I started to get my hands around, we charge $11.99 for, let's say, a hot roast beef meal. And it's our most expensive one to produce. So if you look at that from a food cost standpoint, but so $11.99, well, that gets you 6 ounces of roast beef. Well, first we lay down a slice of bread, and then we put a scoop of mashed taters on top of it. And then we put 6 ounces of roast beef on there. We cover it all with gravy, and then give you a big old 6-ounce side of buttered carrots. Well, we've talked about bowls and how to get a smaller portion for people to eat. And I'm like, well, that's $11.99, and $2.99 of that's a drink too. So there's not a better value in Des Moines or the Midwest, I don't think, for the amount of food you get.
No, I would agree.
Serving an $11.99 meal. So, and years ago, that started as a $9.99 because I wanted a way to have a food special that somebody could get a $10 meal every day, right? That was my goal years ago. Well, of course, price foods went up and everything's went up. So now it's $11.99. But I'm like, if I take away that drink, I'm at $9 a person, from a sales standpoint. And I'm like, well, if I'm at $9 a person, and these are huge portions, I should be able to, for a family of 4, they don't need 4 of these. They just need 3 of them, because there's enough meat for, that would be 18 ounces of beef. That's plenty for 4 people, right? A little bit more for dad, a little bit less for the kids.
Almost a little over a pound.
Oh. Right. And then I looked at the cost of a garden salad for us, which we serve a huge, if you can imagine a 9x9 clear container. Okay. When we serve a salad, it's full. That's a full salad. 4 people can get salad off of there.
Right.
Or chances are, if it's mom and kids, mom and dad are going to eat the salad and have a pretty damn big salad, and the kids are going to, have something else. So I started adding that all together, and I'm like, shit, if I put this in and charge $39.99 and put this into quart containers as a carryout deal, my food cost is a lot better than serving that thing if they all came to the restaurant.
Exactly.
And So I went through every single one, except for the problem I had was when I got to cheeseburger, because we serve this cheeseburger on Tuesday, and it's a great cheeseburger that we grind up beef, and then we grind cooked brisket fat into it, and then we grind up some actually brisket, I call it slicer crumbs or whatever, into it.
Sure.
So we put that all into that burger, and then we season it and re-smoke it. And it's like a 9-ounce burger. That some bitch is, it's a half-inch outside the bun and it's an inch thick.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I really don't want to smoke smaller ones, and I really don't want to give 4 huge burgers out. And then I got to thinking, one night in the middle of the night, I'm like, well, shit, it's Tuesday. What do well, hell, it's Taco Tuesday.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
And we serve tacos. So, right now we put a 1/3 pound meat over 3 tacos. It's way too much meat for the taco. It actually is way too much. Well, hell, if I put 1 ounce and 3/4 of meat on each taco, I could give them a pound of meat. I could give them 10 taco shells, 10 street taco shells.
Right.
They could have the onions, the cilantro, the cheese, the salsas. They could have all this. I could give some chips and queso, enough a big 9x9 to-go container with queso.
Right.
And then I could put a salad with it, or maybe I'll do Spanish rice and give them a quart of Spanish rice to go along with it. And now all of a sudden, I get a meal for $39.99 that I can feed the entire family. So
still at that $39 point.
I still like that price point because, I thought of this last night, and I do a lot of thinking as I sleep, and my mind never shuts off. But I was sitting there thinking about taking this hot beef special, and I was going to go take my hot beef special and market it. Here's $39.99, and here's what you get. And then I was going to go buy all the ingredients to make that from scratch if I were to make it at home. So if I give you a pound of hot beef, we make ours out of brisket. Okay.
Right.
So I could go buy 2 pounds of brisket.
Right.
At the store. I could go buy the potatoes and the butter and the cream cheese, or the heavy cream to make the potatoes.
Right.
And then I could, make some dinner rolls and whatever. And I guarantee that'd be a $50 or $60 grocery bill.
Yeah,
when
but
you can
I
have
think
it
that
cooked
would
for
be,
you for $40.
I think from a marketing standpoint, that would be a good thing to do, is to have that and say, $39.99, and instead of just shooting an idea, be able to say a $70 value for $39.99.
Right.
And so instead of just pulling it out of the air of what you think.
And that's what Texas Roadhouse does. So they say, they market it as, hey, if you were to come in and buy a grilled chicken meal, and now times 4, you save 50% over what you'd pay in the restaurant.
Yeah.
By doing this. Right. Now for us, it's easy because you're cutting away the soda. Now there's a lot of profit in the soda.
Sure.
We charge I think we only charge $2.49 for a soda now that you think about it, but we're probably the cheapest on that in the county too. But so we do that, you take that away, but you could market that as, hey, if you fed your family 4 of these, it cost $50, whereas $39.99 out the door.
I still think you're better off going to the grocery store, getting all the parts and putting it together, and being more realistic about it.
And the time, and the, everything.
But I think
whether it was a chuck roast or brisket or whatever, you could buy a 2-pound chuck roast. Well, hell, that's $6-7 a pound.
Right.
By the time you get done, that's $14.
So I think you're better off going and getting the parts and putting one together and costing that out and having, so that way you aren't blowing smoke up somebody's ass. You're able to say, here's what the actual cost of it is if you go to the grocery store,
right.
And market it that way.
Right. My one last piece to that is trying to find the damn dinner roll. Now, you remember when we were kids, every dinner roll you ever got, if you ever went out to a restaurant, You know, the dinner roll that's kind of the yeast roll that's dark on top and fluffy. Well, I
Right.
don't want to make that. I can make it, but I don't want the labor associated with make it. Well, I'm trying to buy that yeast roll through the distributor, because if I could buy that by the dozen, every one of those meals, I could just flip off 6 of them, keep them in the freezer, put them in 6 packages of 6, and just put them in a bag, keep them in the freezer. And when somebody orders something, I take them out. And by the time they got it home, it's going to be thawed out, ready to eat anyway.
Have you ever tried those Sister Schubert rolls?
Sister Schubert. No,
Yeah.
because I was looking for it. I was going to look at my buddy, old Vinny. He always used to serve a roll. So it's Sister Schubert is a yeast roll?
Yes.
That's why I do these podcasts, Randy, so that I learn shit.
I know. And now I don't know whether they're a yeast roll. They're not a tall roll, but they're heroin. They're friggin' heroin.
They're heroin.
Yeah, they really are. Them some bitches are nothing but flat ass good. And they're
not a take and bake either.
No, they're a frozen bun. You just throw them in the oven, heat them up, and you could take and just take them home and throw them in the oven and heat them up.
Well, yeah, but I don't want anybody to have to turn on their oven. I just want to feed them a roll, and if they want to throw it in the microwave for 20 seconds and heat them up, fine. I don't want anything that has to be baked.
I think you could get by with that.
Yeah,
but Sister Schubert,
because Sister Schubert, I got that duly noted.
I got to try. I'm cooking some this afternoon for a catering tonight. I'll set some out and see what happens to them if we don't put them in the oven.
Yeah. And take a picture of them, because I always got to have a picture.
I know.
The other thing I thought about doing was
you put honey on those bitches, and you put honey on them bitches. And, oh my God! We don't. That doesn't get into that. Gets away from food costs. That's just extra, So.
No, honey's 15 cents a damn pack. Crazy, but I know that.
But it's pretty damn good. So,
yeah, the other thing I thought about doing is I've got a way to get Martin's potato rolls, and if you've ever been to Florida or the South, Martin's potato rolls are like the Martin's bread and buns and everything is just like the top of the line stuff.
Okay,
it's like, and a lot of we got a burger restaurant in Des Moines that serves stuff on Martin. They market it as Martin potato rolls, and it's good. And I've tested some, and now that they got that conduit, they're dinner rolls. And I think I maybe just answered my question, because I could get and serve it with Martin potato rolls. And that would be like, people go, where? It'd be like Sister Schubert. Where in the hell did you get these dinner rolls?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Huh. Interesting. So I got a lot of thinking done. I got a lot of appetizer combos. I didn't get any barbecue combos done because barbecue's so damn expensive. I'm not sure I want to serve it in a combo.
Right.
And I probably need to get a couple combos out there, but got some good appetizer, pick 3, pick 4, because we're so used to serving appetizers. We're not a full service restaurant, so you don't get your appetizers ahead of time.
You're going to serve your appetizers in the restaurant, or are those takeout?
Well, we do today. We do wings, and we do wing and rib baskets, and we do cheese curds and fried pickle chips, and we have all those appetizers. The problem is the way our kitchen works. You order at the counter. So when you get your pickle chips delivered, you're going to get your meal delivered the same time. There's no way to really throttle that. I mean, there is, but I've decided that I don't want to throttle it that way.
Okay.
But the problem is people want to try different things. They want to try our egg rolls, but they want to try, there's 4 or 5 egg rolls in an order, or they want to try the pickle chips. Well, there's a bunch, or cheese curds. Well, so I started going in and saying, I don't have to serve egg rolls 5 at a time. I can serve 3 egg rolls, which then brings the cost down. So I was able to get, hey, pick any 3 of these for $14.99. Pick any 4 of these appetizers.
I see what you're saying. Right.
$19.99. And then I just got to figure out a way to market it type thing.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I like your value meals. You got a good idea and everything. And I see big opportunities, but how are you going to market them? I mean, that's always the question, Randy. Who are you targeting these meals to? You know,
Mom.
who do you exactly? That lady that goes and picks up the kids after school and picks up the kids after school and is comes by the restaurant before she goes home. That's the person, in my opinion, that you're going to be going after for these meals. And
So Randy, you're a lot better at marketing than I am. Okay,
no, I
because
don't know about that.
no, you're really good at marketing because I don't spend a lot of time. I mean, I hire I hire social media marketing done and stuff like that. But the things that you do, I just don't devote enough time to marketing because I spend most of my time on how to improve, right?
Right.
Because I'm all about cutting deals and doing things. It's like we sat down the other day, Sherry and I, and she goes, "What'd you do today?" And I said, "Well, I negotiated this rib deal. I got it in. They wanted it for $2.49 a pound. We threw $1.99 and they bit right away. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I should have offered them $1.49 and they probably would take it. But that took my ribs. I bought 400 cases of ribs at $7 a piece because a big 3.5 pound rib. So I bought ribs at $7 a piece. My normal rib cost is a smaller rib at $9 a piece. Hell, I saved $2 a rack of ribs times 400 cases. I got to do the math again, but I got $2 times 400 cases times 15 ribs. That's $12,000, just one negotiated deal. So that's my life. That's where that's where I spend my time. Sure. Because we do such volume. I'm able to cut a lot of dollars by just changing one little thing or negotiating one little thing.
A dollar makes a big difference with the volume that you guys are doing.
Exactly. So for us, marketing, we fill up the place every day. So it's not, marketing's not I don't want to say it's not a necessity for us, but it's not the top of our list. But for you, being a smaller business, it's probably numero uno. Because
it is.
You're not going to buy enough volume to be able to negotiate $12,000 things. So you're all about sales, right?
Exactly. That's all. That's my job. That's many of. But yeah, see, like that. And, I mean, there's going to be people disagree and agree. There's going to be some that agree and disagree. And, I really don't give a fuck if they disagree with me or not. I just know what's worked for us, And we've built our business on Facebook and Instagram, on social media. I mean, I was just thinking this morning, first of the year, I think we'll have been in business either 14 or 15 years.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
Well, yeah, I think before that, Randy, because we opened our first restaurant in 2007, and I think you beat me to the punch because you got fired first.
No. You got fired first.
You didn't?
No,
I got fired first.
You got fired first, and then I got fired the next year. So how many years have you been in business? How many years have you been in?
Well, in the driveway, 2006, but 2007. So
officially,
next year will be 2007. So we started in July 4th of 2007. So next year would be 14 years, right? No.
So
17 years.
So we started officially, we were in the driveway and in the garage, and then we finally decided to get an LLC and stuff in January. We decided I wasn't going to go back to work in the hardware business and the paint business, and because somebody talked me out of it. Wonder who. And thank God. And because it was kind of like, you might as well join the troop. If we go down, we'll at least both go down at the same time, And so no, you went first and then I went. And then so I think we went in 2008. So I think 2008 was when I got the big axe. So
so I think 16. It'll be 16 years for you next year.
So 16 years. The 1st of January is the official date. Yeah. And but anyway, so that's when social media was really kind of cranking up and going, and so that's where we really started doing our stuff, is with all the social media. And I use this term loosely. I kind of call myself the prostitute of barbecue. because you know, because my feeling, because if you aren't pimping yourself out, nobody else is, you know. So you got to be out there, in my opinion, talking about yourself and talking about on Facebook and Instagram. And that's where I would go with these value meals. I would go with the Facebook, and there's so many things. Facebook has gone, and there's people that know a hellacious lot more about it than I do. But I do know, and we've done some of it, of the target marketing, of doing target marketing of, okay, we want to target people that drive certain cars and have so many kids and of a certain age group, and target those type of people. Now, I've got a wife that says that's all wrong and stuff, but she still cashes the check, you know. So I mean,
and does half the work.
yeah, I forgot about that part.
Right.
You're right, right. But you know, there's so much target marketing, and you know, getting somebody, and a lot of that stuff you can do yourself. You know, you just got to get out there in Facebook and do some digging and stuff. And you can do, I think, now I'm not sure, but you know, you can do a lot of the same thing on Instagram. One of the things that really fascinated me, and we've done some of it, it's called geotagging, where you take and you could take and put a geofence around your restaurant and say, okay, everybody around in this certain area is going to take and get Facebook or Instagram message or post. They will get posts from from you because they're in your geotag area. So instead of, because if you send something to me, it really doesn't it doesn't do any good. But if it's
Right.
that, and you can try to target that soccer mom, and that's the other thing, you know, try to get the soccer moms and stuff like that. But you know, you can try to get her. If you don't get her, you may not be able to get to her. But if it's in that geotag fence area, you may be able to get her. Now, I know there's going to be people that's just going to eat me alive because there's a lot more to it and stuff. But this is just what little bit I know and I've picked up. That's why it might be a good idea. You know, it's worth your money to hire somebody good to do some social media for you. I mean, there's people out there who'll do it. There's people out there that'll just fuck the hell out of you too, that'll steal you blind. And so, I mean, been there, done that. You know, it's like they're going to charge you $500, $1,000, and you're telling them what to do. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is talk to some other businesses and find out if they're using somebody to do their social media. And the other thing of it is remember, a social media guy does not have to be in your town. They don't have to be, like, I've got a guy that does my social media and he does a really good job. And I mean, if anybody follows us, you see they do I'm not doing the posts. They're doing the posts every day. They're doing the hashtags that people will pick up the hashtags. That's another thing is, and I know there's two different thoughts on that. Some people say hashtags aren't any good. Some people say hashtags are. But these guys do the hashtags. They do the postings. There's also thoughts on that the algorithms on Instagram, if you post more than once a day in a regular post, it'll knock you down you'll get knocked down the algorithm some, and so you aren't picked up as much. But if you post more than once in the stories, it'll pick you up and it likes you. And it gets people, the more you can get people to watch your stories on in Instagram, then the algorithm likes you. So it's going to pull you up more to the front. I will tell you, and they told me this, that if they want to get me in as many stories and posts as possible. And back years ago, we used to do a TV segment a local TV segment about once a month or twice a month, where I would do a 3-minute cooking segment. That was the best. That's why we're where we are now, because of doing that. It was a freebie deal, and I would go on there and do this cooking segment, and it was the best advertising we ever did, and had a blast doing it. And it got us more publicity than anything. But anyway,
can we get back to this soccer mom?
Oh no, it's easy now. Easy now. But
it's funny, Randy, because we had Emma, who's still behind the scenes here, and so we got to talk nice about her, right? Because otherwise she'll blurp it out as she produces this thing. But we had in-house. Emma did it for me, and she had the pulse of the business. And so when Emma decided she wanted to move on to bigger and better things and work from home with her, now I can watch her Instagram feed all day long with her dog on her lap working, so that's her. That's what makes her happy, right? I don't want to stay at home. But anyway, so I went and found out that I thought Porky Butts in Omaha had a really nice social media thing. And so I investigated and went and met with them, and that's who I've hired. So I've got 316 Strategy Group out of Omaha doing my social media. Now, does it have its challenges? Yes.
You just started.
I noticed
you just started. We just started with that.
Just started. Where Emma was always after me about content, because it pissed her off so bad that she'd come up with all these great ideas and she'd post and it wouldn't get any likes. And then I'd post something with a picture of me in it doing something.
Bingo.
And oh my God, it'd just go crazy. And she'd get so pissed at me going, what in the hell? And then she understood it. But so the same things going on. The only issues we have today is, the new company, they're doing new graphics. So it's a newer spin. People probably have noticed. It's just a different look, right? And they have a different methodology, and they've got a lot of SEO optimization in the background and all this stuff you talked about. But like last week, we're on the Crafty Mac, and we get this thing about this Smash Burger Mac, and it was a really nice done post and whatever. Well, we don't have the Smash Burger Mac anymore. But no, we didn't know that. They didn't know that. I knew that. Exactly. I didn't even know that myself.
That's your fault.
That's my fault. So now I've taught them to go out. If you're going to promote something, now go look at my takeout menu on Toast, so you can see live what's going on. So if this is out of stock, then don't promote it. But like they did a delivery thing. They did a really cool graphic about delivery for the Crafty Mac. And I said, wow, this is really cool. I'm going to click on the link. So I click on the link that goes to the website, and then I hit the delivery button, and it went to delivery.com, who's a company that we don't do business with any longer. And so I'm on the phone with Emma, even though she got a real job. I'm on the phone with Emma saying, hey, how do we get this fixed? So Emma's doing a little side work on the behind the scenes, trying to clean up our act but sometimes I wonder how much relates in our market, how much the Facebook post or the Instagram post leads to the actual sale, right?
I think a lot. I think you're kidding yourself.
You think a lot.
I think it does.
See, I was thinking it's probably not as much as word of mouth. I was trying to think as you talk about the soccer mom. Am I better have it a sign up as they wait to unload kids at school? Or do I have somebody out there handing out flyers? Hey, here's our daily special. Boom, boom, boom. Place your order right here and pick it up after school.
I think your word of mouth is the best. Word of mouth is the best. But I think the social media and the word of mouth, they go so hand in hand. You get people talking, the social media will get people talking about it, and it's like a gold mine when you get somebody post on their Facebook page that they got something from you and it was good and that. And as far as the learning curve goes, like we use a company in Springfield called Hype Media, and we've been using them for probably about 8 months now. And in the beginning, we stumbled a lot. I mean, I would go, what the hell are you guys doing? I wouldn't say that because I was nice, but
Right. No,
they
you
figured
would,
they
but
figured it out what they're doing. But one of the things that they said, and I've noticed, if I'm in a video, especially a video, if I'm in a video, the interaction with it, the people looking at it, saying they like it, whatever, goes through the ceiling.
right.
And we used to take, I say we, I used to take and do videos just about every day when we were out with the food truck. I mean, and some of them were a little out there and stuff, but no, I think word of mouth is your best bet. I don't know whether going to the baseball game and handing out flyers is the best thing, because I think I just don't like that. I don't think that would get good, but and that goes also, and I'm sure you get hit up about wanting to put advertisements in this flyers or in the program for the volleyball teams, and they're going to have a volleyball tournament. Do you want to put an ad in there? I'm not a me personally, I'm not a big supporter of that.
We don't do. We have zero advertising budget from so I'm not. I turn everybody down. I don't want a newspaper article. I'm not going to be in your golf course or your church bulletin, whatever.
Right.
I'm just not going to do that. Now, the one thing we do at the local high schools, we are on the big football scoreboards, and we're on the basketball scoreboards of most of our local schools, because if
Right.
somebody's coming in from out of town, they see that. I think that leads to stuff, but marketing's always perplexing to me. It's not my strength. I'll be the first to tell you it's not my strength. I'm an operational logistics guy. I'm a process improvement guy. And so I've always, like with Emma or with 316, I've kind of just trusted them to make it happen. And I know that the whole personal video thing is a huge thing. And they've done a lot of that with Blaine over at Porky Butts. Haven't done a lot with me, but we need to do some stuff. Like right now, I'm out, I am cooking ribs. So I'm sitting at, we went to our next door neighbor's house yesterday for a little happy hour. And he says, we started talking about barbecue, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm doing ribs. My daughters are coming over for Christmas, and we're doing ribs." I'm like, "Really? What are you doing for ribs?" And he goes, "Oh, they just love my ribs." And I said, "What do you do?" And he goes, "Well, I put them in the pot with some beer, and I boil them for about 45 minutes. And then I take them out and I put them on the gas grill, and I put that, what's that, Casey Masterpiece?" Yeah, he puts the Casey Masterpiece on there, and they went crazy. And of course, I'm thinking to myself, friends don't let friends boil ribs.
Exactly.
Right. So this morning, off I went, because the only place down here in Florida that I could find was Walmart to go get ribs. And they had the old Smithfield extra tenders, which I haven't cooked in quite some time, but because you just can't get them in Iowa. But went and got 5 racks of Smithfield extra tenders. So I'm, going to cook 2 racks for this neighbor and 2 racks for this neighbor. And then we're going to cut one up and take it to happy hour today, so that make sure they could taste that, because I'm going to go, hey, if you don't like the taste of them, then give these other ones away to somebody else. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be better than your boiled.
Yeah, than the beer boiled ribs.
Your boiled ribs, and he probably did the baby back ribs because that's what the world does, versus a really nice St. Louis rib. So yeah. So I've got ribs out on the smoker today cooking, and I haven't cooked down in Florida in a while, so kind of nice to be able to throw just ribs on the pellet cooker and kind of look forward to. I should have put salt and pepper on one of the racks, because that's my way of doing it. But
yeah, that's good that way. But so, I think your social media people targeting that soccer mom, that person that is on their they're on their way home from picking the kids up.
You're gonna make it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I got. You
don't think so? I'm gonna have to. Am I gonna have to get Emma back on?
Yeah, if I don't get over this goddamn cold. But I think that soccer mom is your key person for that. And I think if you can get 3 or 4 of those ladies on a regular basis coming in, they're going to talk about it and tell their friends. And And I've learned, I feel somewhat uncomfortable doing it, but I've kind of got over it. I don't have a problem. Somebody will go, because one of them's going to get it and they're going to go, this is so nice. I can take this home and take it home and heat it up. And I've got supper for the family. I don't have to, I've got a good, wholesome supper and everything. And I sure appreciate that. It's not going to hurt anything to say, if you really like that, if you wouldn't mind putting that on Instagram or Facebook, I'd sure appreciate it.
Right.
I mean, just ask. And 9 times out of 10, they'll go, oh, sure. And
I never thought about that.
There you go.
Well, and that's back to kind of how I saw, that's what brought up the entire conversation about the Texas Roadhouse meals, was I was scrolling through TikTok, and here's this gal, and she's a single gal, and she's going and buying this thing every week. And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, well, I don't go to the grocery store and have to meal prep on Sunday all week long. I go to Texas Roadhouse and pick up one of these value meals, and that's 4 meals for her. And I can take the chicken breast and I can put different sauce on it. I can do whatever and make it a different variety of a meal, but took care of all their thing. And so I'm sitting there going, in the back of my mind, I'm going, okay, is this realistic or is this paid? Because that's kind of one of my, in social media, the world is full of paid people pushing product. And hey,
Agreed.
I'm one of them, right? Smithfield's paid me for years to influence people about barbecue.
Exactly.
But I'm not sure if you knew or not. I know a little bit about the barbecue space.
Right.
But there's people out there that know nothing about the subject.
Exactly.
But they make really nice videos and they make really nice posts and they make a lot of money doing it.
Make a friggin' lot of money.
A lot of money doing it. A lot of money doing it. And they really have no profound, but it's not even having the resume. It's the perceived knowledge that they have.
Sure.
Right? Of doing it. And so it's kind of decipher through the bullshit of who's paying somebody to say something or what's actually authentic and real.
I agree with you. There's times you look at something and it's like, then you get to thinking, does this guy really know what he's talking about, or is he just blowing smoke up your butt?
Yeah. There's a lot of that. I try and skim through that. Keith Lee, I was listening to a David Chang podcast this morning, one of my favorite ones to listen to. And they were talking about Keith Lee and how authentic he is, of how he's not trying to showboat or whatever. And now he's gotten so popular that he can't even go into the place of business. He has to send his wife and daughters in to actually get the food. And so they go to get the food, and then he does a food review out in the car.
Okay.
And he's not always given the best review. I watched a pizza one from New York City. He was in New York City, but I'm sure people are paying him to come to Atlanta, come to New York City and whatever. But it's one thing but it's pretty authentic stuff, right?
Right.
He's he's a guy that is going to tell you what's on his mind. He's never going to bash anybody. He may tell you it's not the best he ever had, but he's never going to bash anybody.
Not trash it out completely.
Yeah, so pretty interesting stuff. Marketing's always, like I said, you've always been, to me, a lot better at marketing than I have. I've just never taken the amount of time to do it. I'm not very good at self-promotion, and you don't do a lot of self-promotion, but a lot of people out there, just open up your Facebook. There's a lot of people that are 100% self-promotion, and they ain't got no guts or behind them. There's just nothing.
Yeah, they don't have anything to back them up on it. So
right. So that's the world we live in. Other than that, spending a little more time on this AI, artificial intelligence, trying to do data analysis.
How are you coming along on that?
It didn't get a lot of time to spend on it. My buddy Seth, he sent me because you have to ask it questions, right? And you don't, on how good the answer is, on how good you ask the question. So he sent me a YouTube video that I've watched twice that I need to watch about 10 more times before it sinks in, about how to ask the question
Right.
so that you get the right answer, because I got this huge amount of data and all I'm trying to do is parse it. I'm just trying to parse it. So lots of
Parse
things,
it.
but
Parse it. What do you
overall,
mean? What do you mean by parse it?
well, I'm trying to parse it. So take, for instance, if I take my product mix, right?
Uh-huh.
And so if I open up a product mix for Smoky D's, let's just take brisket, for example. I sell a brisket sandwich, which shows up on the product mix, but I show, I may serve brisket in tacos. I may serve brisket on one of 3 or 4 platters. If you get a whole pit, you get brisket on it, even though it doesn't say brisket. So you got all this briskets hidden in 50 different modifiers, right?
Okay.
So if I serve brisket 50 different ways, well, I need to know how much brisket I sold. So I have to take this immense amount of data and try and say how much brisket. Well, okay, if it says brisket sandwich, that's 1. If it says pound of brisket, that's 3 portions. If it sends a whole pit, that's 1 portion. And so trying to take this immense amount of data to figure out how much brisket I sell every day.
How many pounds of brisket you
right?
actually sell?
How many pounds I sell every day, but then take it even further, saying, take me the last 15 weeks of brisket and tell me, or the last 6 weeks of brisket or whatever, and tell me how many briskets I've sold, or how much brisket pounds have I sold on average on every Tuesday. And so if you think about the immense amount of data, it's just hard to get through. I mean, you could keep in a restaurant our size, you could keep a full-size data analyst busy trying to figure this out. And I'm trying to solve that issue with artificial intelligence. So we're getting there. It's able to do some analysis, but I need to learn how to answer the questions in the right way. Ask them in the right way. Yep. But other than that, I'm back to the Des Moines here tomorrow and start implementing some of this stuff and trying to, just got a lot of our platter before the end of the year, and I've already scheduled another thinking trip down here to be able to maybe get out of the cold a little bit, but work on the system. That's always super important. Got to work on the system. Yeah, I did one thing that I've never done before. Wow.
What's that?
Sherry's Net Limit. I booked a one-way ticket to Florida.
Get out.
I did. We were talking about, well, when should we go back? When I said, I tell you what, I'm just going to book a one-way ticket for us. She goes, what? I said, yeah, we'll just book another one home. It ain't cheaper. Doesn't matter. So I got a one-way ticket to Florida.
One-way ticket to paradise. Isn't there a song like that?
And I don't know.
Oh, probably. I think there is.
I'll put it into my chat GBT or Google or something. Figure that out. Okay.
Well, all right.
You got to cater, and I got to go wrap some ribs.
I got a catering to get ready for this evening, and do an on-site deal for them. So I think that's about it. So
that's about it. And since we don't have to say anything in closing because Emma's got her sweet voice, her mom sent me a message. Doesn't she just have a sweet voice?
Voice of an angel.
Are you her agent?
Voice of an angel.
Yeah, I know. But so anyway.
Hey guys, Emma here. Sounds like I'm coming back for this part indefinitely. So for all my fans out there, I've missed you. I'm happy to be back. I just wanted to say follow us on social media. We are at Cue the Mic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter X, whatever you call it. We are also on YouTube at Cue the Mic Pod. You can like our videos, comment, subscribe to our channel. That would be huge. And also hit the notification bell so you guys get notified every Monday when new episodes drop. And if you haven't yet, rate our show. Rate the guys. Let us know how they're doing. We love feedback. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. So
until next time,
we'll see you.
And if you like it, tell somebody. If you don't like it, call my marketing guy, Randy.
Yeah, call me and I'll just tell you to go piss up a rope.
Until next time.
And you never said anything about my backdrop. My new room I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm down in the basement.
Let me show you your backdrop. If you're on YouTube, he's got it. Let me show you my backdrop. Okay, there's the pool. and there's the smoker with the ribs going, and
I'm down in in our finished basement.
Are you in your office?
See, that's the thing. Nobody knows. I'm in my office. I got all the junk covered up. So
it looks good, except for I record my podcast at a different place every week.
So you got to drag all your junk with you.
I drag all my junk with me.
All right.
Okay.
Everybody take care.
Until next time.
See y'all.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.